You saw the thumbnail, you read the title, you know what this is about. Yhwach from Bleach versus Terumi from BlazBlue. Who would win in a fight? No one's ever asked this question before but me, and you better finish watching this video till the end. So we'll start with Yhwach. Basically, he is the main antagonist of 1000-Year Blood War of Bleach. He is the father of the Quincy. He is the emperor of the Vanderreich. And overall, he is the strongest character in Bleach. It took the efforts of Ichigo, Aizen, and a bunch of other people all together just to kill him. And even then, he's not fully dead. Fragments of his soul were left behind. So yeah, we'll start scaling him. So we'll start with Yhwach's attack potency. So it's very simple to scale Yhwach. Yhwach is basically the strongest character in Bleach. He scales over everyone, including Ichigo. And Ichigo scales above a character called Gremmy, whose ability is that anything he imagines comes real. One time he imagined a vacuum of space that contained a galaxy in it. This should put him in galaxy level, which makes Yhwach galaxy level. And at the peak of Yhwach's power, he was gonna destroy the entire universe and everything connected to it. So the living world, the Soul Society, Hueco Mundo, Los Noches, Dangai, everything. He was gonna destroy everything. The size of this feat can be highballed to universal. So I don't think it's too controversial to say that this feat is well within the universal range. As stated before, Yhwach scales above basically every single character in Bleach. So we're just gonna use Ichigo as a benchmark. So basically, Ichigo in Soul Society arc is light speed because he scales above people who can dodge the light of the Gargantua, which is light. So he should be at the very least light speed, and he gets multiple amps throughout Bleach, including his fake Bankai, then his Vasto Lorde form, his Dangai form, Mugetsu, then eventually his true Shikai and Bankai, which should put him well within the MFTL, or massively faster than light range, because if you calculate all the speed amps and everything, then it makes sense. And Yhwach scales above Ichigo, so Yhwach should be around MFTL or possibly even MFTL plus, since he does scale above Ichigo. Yhwach's durability is actually, I don't really know. He tanked Bankai Getsuga Tensho from Ichigo at point blank range, which only damaged his arm a little bit, and later on he tanked a Gran Rei Sero Getsuga Tensho from Ichigo, which almost killed him, but he managed to tank it. Now, I don't know how strong a Getsuga Tensho of Ichigo is, but you'll just have to take my word for it when I say it's really, really strong. First of all, we've got the Almighty. This is Yhwach's main ability. It's the ability to look into the future and change it. He's saved himself before with this ability. For example, when Ichigo killed him one time, before he could kill him, he used the Almighty so that he actually doesn't die in that moment. So yeah, it can save him. Blut and Blut Vene. It's just a defensive ability that makes your blood arteries strengthen, and Yhwach was able to withstand a Bankai infused Getsuga Tensho with this ability, so it's pretty strong. Yhwach, being the king of the Quincy, should have full mastery over all Quincy spells, including one of the strongest ones, or the strongest one, called Kirchenlied Sanktzwinger, which creates a, field of light around him, and everyone who enters gets, quote, ripped apart by God's light. Yhwach's IQ is, I would say it's above average. It's definitely above average. He was able to conquer multiple parts of Mundo without the Soul Society noticing. He was able to fight against the wisest Shinigami or Soul Reaper, Ichibei. He is also a experienced warlord, as said before with the Mundo thing, and overall his battle IQ is very high. He was able to save himself right at the brink of death. Ichigo basically just killed him, but he saved himself with the Almighty, and yeah, his IQ and battle IQ is pretty high. I'd put him, it's above average. Now, Yhwach's equipment is nothing really special. He has regular ass sword. As a Quincy, of course, he has a bow, and he also has a great sword that's actually just a giant arrow he shot out of a bow. He also has Yamamoto's Bankai, Zanka no Tachi, which is basically just the power of the sun. Now, I don't know if he can use it. I don't remember. I think he can use it. I'm pretty sure he can use it. Terumi is the main antagonist of the BlazBlue series. He is one of the 6 heroes, and he is one of the Sankishin. Now, a Sankishin, it's one of the 3 original beings in the BlazBlue universe. Those 3 being the Amaterasu unit, which is just the creator of all things in BlazBlue, the Tsukuyomi unit, which is a shield that protects everything, nothing can penetrate it, and the Susanoo unit, which was made to destroy anything and everything. And that's Terumi. Now, initially, the Susanoo unit was actually just a mindless beast made for the Amaterasu unit to control, but over time, the Susanoo unit gained consciousness, and Terumi decided that he wanted to protect that consciousness at all costs. So he split apart from his body and met up with this man called Relius Clover. Now this man, on multiple occasions, made new bodies for Terumi. The first one being Kazuma Kaval, who was a student in the Academy of Ishana. But after some things that happened, that body died and Terumi was independent again. So he went back to Relius, and Relius made him another body called Hazama. Now this body stayed with Terumi till the end of the series. It is how Terumi is shown for basically most of the series. Hazama is a captain of the NOL, the intelligence department specifically. That's about everything you need to know. Let's start scaling. Terumi's attack potency, just like Yhwach, is pretty simple to scale. There's this group of people called the 6 heroes in BlazBlue, and this group of people fought off this thing called the Black Beast. The Black Beast was gonna destroy the entire world until the 6 heroes showed up. Terumi is one of the 6 heroes, so Terumi should in turn be planetary. He also killed 2 members of the 6 heroes, those being Nine the Phantom and Trinity Glassfill. He can also fight on par with 2 other members of the 6 heroes, those being Jubei and Hakumen. This is all in his base form. In his Susanoo form, he beat Ragna, Jin, Noel, Izayoi, and Jubei all at the same time with 0 difficulty, and when he absorbs Noel, he is well within the complex multiversal range, simply because Noel has the Eye of the Azure, which is basically just absolute reality manipulation. Terumi's speed is even simpler to calculate. So, in short, there's this realm in BlazBlue called the Boundary. Now, the Boundary is stated to be infinite. Terumi can move through the Boundary effortlessly and navigate through it effortlessly, which means his speed should be infinite. Let me tell you right now, Terumi is a tough mofo, alright? He is tough as hell. At his lowest level of durability, he can withstand blows from Hakumen, Bloodlusted Jubei, and Black Beast Ragna, so his durability should be around planetary. He is also immortal in multiple ways. He is unaffected by phenomena intervention, which is reality manipulation. I'll get into that later. And his most impressive durability feat, and this is one of his most impressive feats in general, basically, alright? You're gonna want to sit down for this. There's this attack called time killer. Anyone who gets hit by this attack gets erased from the past, future, and present in every single timeline that person can exist in. Terumi tanked this attack. I want you to comprehend how ridiculous this feat is. Terumi literally just tanked the delete button. And in his ghost form, he is intangible to all attacks that are, logical. So any attack that is bound by logic, they just can't hit him because he is basically a ghost in his base form. Terumi's hacks are very varied, and this is where most of his trump cards are, besides his infinite speed, of course. So first of all, he is very proficient with magic. He's able to go toe-to-toe with Hakumen and Jubei with his magic and combat prowess. He has Phenomena Intervention. Now, let me explain what this is, since I didn't before. So imagine this scenario. You're sitting down, and there's a can of Coke in front of you. Now, you imagine every single possibility of what that can of Coke could be, and then you bring them into reality. So that can of Coke could also be a Pepsi or a Toyota Supra. So it is just reality manipulation in the most literal sense. And this is also what Terumi is resistant to, since the universe got reset multiple times before in the BlazBlue universe, and Terumi was unaffected by these resets. He remembers every single reset. That's not important right now. What is important is Terumi can use Phenomena Intervention. He has the Ouroboros, which I'll explain later, and even in his base form, he can access the power of the Susanoo unit. Now, there isn't many sources on this, but in his astral finish, he clearly just turns into the Susanoo unit and finishes off his opponent with it. Now, I don't know if this is the full power of the Susanoo unit, but we'll say it's 50%, give or take. When he fuses with the Susanoo unit, he has access to Time Killer, which is that delete button attack we talked about in the durability section. And generally, as the Susanoo unit, he can just destroy everything, since he was literally made to destroy. Terumi is a genius. He is a super genius, in fact. He is probably the smartest, or one of the smartest characters in BlazBlue. He invented the Azure Grimoire, both the inferior and superior version. He was able to outsmart an all-seeing AI. Now, you're gonna want to sit down for this again. Basically, there's this all-seeing AI, as I said before, called Takemagahara. This AI can observe everything and everything that everything can be, if that makes sense. This AI has ridiculous Phenomena Intervention powers, and it can just observe everything at once. Now, in a time frame of 1/480th of a second, that AI was not observing everything, but was solely focused on one thing. In that time frame of 1/480th of a second, Terumi was able to infiltrate this AI and plant a virus on it, which permanently shut it down. Terumi is also the manipulator of practically all events in BlazBlue. He is why everything is happening. He is also the CEO of the NOL, if that makes sense. He manipulated a Trinity into releasing the Mind Eater spell from him that 9 put on him in the Dark War. Then he killed both of them. Terumi's equipment, just like Yhwach, it's not really that special, though he has one weapon that he uses very, very often, especially as Hazama, which is the Ouroboros. Now, the Ouroboros is a Nox Nictoris class weapon, which basically means that it was made to fight off the Black Beast in the Dark War, and the Ouroboros is a endless chain with a blade at the end, meant to resemble a snake. hence the name Ouroboros. It also has the special ability of being able to erase and bring back memories. For example, there's this character called Tager who has amnesia. Terumi at one point in the story brought back Tager's memories with the Ouroboros. It's not really a strong ability, it's just an ability he has, I guess, to manipulate people. He also fights with butterfly knives for some reason. They're not special in any kind of way, they're just regular ass butterfly knives. I think he just uses them because they look cool or something. And as Terumi, not as Hazama or any other possessed body, he mainly just uses his hands to fight. It's not looking too good for our boy Adolf sorry, slipped out. It's not looking too good for our boy Yhwach. For starters, Terumi outscales him in basic stats in every single way imaginable. Terumi blitzes him easily, he has better hacks, and because Terumi is resistant to Phenomena Intervention and can use Phenomena Intervention himself, Yhwach's Almighty is basically useless against Terumi. So, in conclusion, yeah, Terumi negs pretty badly actually.